right, this is Mike Fitzgerald. I'm back. I'm actually going to do some work. I've taken the microphone away from Madeline for a moment because, well, we've got a guest here who's come all the way out from Utica, and if you've ever driven out there, it's all the way out. So I'm giving him credit for coming out. This is... Oh, and I just screwed up your last name. Andy DeAngelo. And he's from a group of filmmakers from, as I said, out of Utica. He's got a few films under your belt. We just recently watched your feature, The Brothers.
Yeah, that was my first feature film, and I'd worked on a bunch of shorts before that, and I'm still working on a bunch of shorts. That was my first feature film, and I'm working on my second feature-length film right now called Anti-Hero, so.
Okay. Now, what was your inspiration for The Brothers?
Well, I don't know, just had a love for horror films, so I was like, I want to make a psychological horror film. And the problem with horror films today is it's all about the blood and cutting people open and stuff, so I wanted to make it be more about the monsters, the demon in that movie is like the central theme. There's not a whole lot of blood in that, so.
Now, there's obviously... Now, your video, if you want to watch it, is this still available to watch on YouTube? Because that's where I watch.
Yeah, it'll be available for 2 more weeks, and then we're getting it out on DVD, so, yeah.
All right, so what's your channel again?
It's White's Baseball 4, but the Brothers is up on WendellVision 23.
All right, cool.
So.
I noticed a lot of the story is about the relationships between the characters, and mostly the gentleman with a number of failed relationships. It seemed like, do you have some issues with women, or have you had some bad relationships?
No, I don't know. I just wanted to focus on the fact that he's been through a lot of bad relationships, so when he gets into this one relationship, no matter how bad she treats him, he just kind of just sucks it up and goes.
This isn't based on any personal experience.
It's not based on any personal experiences. I haven't dated a girl that turned into a demon.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad for you.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, what's the new project, Anti-Heroes?
Anti-Heroes is this crime action movie. It's basically 2 stories. It was written by Steve Mullen. He's a writer out in Utica, and it's basically these 2 stories. There's this assassin who's basically like, I don't want to be an assassin anymore, and then there's this police officer who kills people kind of for money, and the police agency kind of discovers that he's killing people for money and hires a rookie officer who winds up falling in love with him. And throughout the movie, the police officer who kills people for money is hunting down this assassin, and it basically just all kind of comes together and just kind of explodes.
What are you finding is the biggest difference between, you started off with a horror film and now you're moving to action? What's the biggest difference?
With horror, there's a lot more dialogue. With action, there's less dialogue and, more just shooting. So I don't know, there's a little bit of a difference, but it's not, I've adjusted to it pretty well, so.
What's been
liking the action a little bit more.
Oh, what are you enjoying? What are you enjoying more about shooting the action?
Probably because some of it can actually happen. I don't know, that's just the interesting part to me. I don't know, just seems a little bit more fun shooting stuff like that. But horror's still fun. But horror gets kind of cliche after a while, and action can't.
Okay. What was your biggest challenge shooting your first feature? What's something other filmmakers can learn from your experience?
Biggest challenge was basically finding the actors. We had an audition, 3 people came, and we needed at least 15 characters, so that was the biggest challenge, was finding the actors, but we got through it. Wasn't the actors that I kind of wanted, but got through it. So another big challenge was probably the locations, and that's still a challenge for me now. Locations are the hardest thing to find.
Now, you work as part of a film community. That's where we met, and we have an earlier video from that meeting. How did you get involved in that community in Utica?
Well, in 2011, in early 2011, I met Matt Peters from Mad Angel Films, and he was just about to start work on Stone, and so he asked me to come out. Well, I talked to him, and then he asked me to come out and help out with Stone, basically as a production assistant. And that's how I met everybody and then got involved in it. So I was making my own short movies with my friends before, but that's actually how I got to meet all the actors and essentially how I got started with the brothers. So
if you could give one piece of advice to aspiring filmmakers out there, based on your experience, what would that be?
Just go out and do it. There's not really any boundaries. You can do anything. It's your first couple films are gonna suck. There's no doubt about it. Every filmmaker.
I think us at Fiendish Films know that. Okay.
Every filmmaker is gonna have to go through that period, but just don't give up. Basically.
Well, what's the sophomore mistake? Or the freshman mistake that everybody makes? That if you could save them from making that one mistake that you made, I made, all of us make. What's that one?
Not everything in your head is gonna turn out the way you want it to. So like, if you have this really, really cool idea in your head, it might come out a little bit corny. I mean, I've learned that with a couple of I shot a film when I was 13. It was basically my plane crashed and I was lost on this island and it was in my backyard. Thought it was a cool idea and realized how bad it actually was. So
shooting above your means. Okay.
Yeah. So just stay away from. Try to see if it's an actual good idea before you actually go out and shoot it.
Well, I appreciate you coming out to Brian Hewitt's feature film premiere of Rise Up and Fall, and we look forward to seeing your work in the future.
Thank you.